Hello, everybody. We're all together as you see us. No more different screens. For it, happy surprise to you guys. For and we were looking at what should we talk about today? Talking about the managing the collective field with your twin flame. Up here. And it's kind of like a very good question. So part of the question was brought at a while back. That was from Crystal in there, but she wanted to know more about the scientific part, which is the scientific part was going to be including some more kind of like it's energy attached to a medical research, psychological, and so on. That's what the science is about in there. But we're going to be talking about today about managing this collective field, managing this collective field with your twin flame, and this is a one of the things of part of getting to this union in there. Confirmations, anybody? So what I'm saying here is like when you managing yourself, you know how to manage yourself, you know how to manage it, and you know how to operate. I don't say manipulate, I say operate. You operate on a point within the energy, with an understanding. You may have issues with your twin flame, you may have situations with your twin flame, but you know how to navigate the energies in there. Thank you, Karen and Lorna. You know how to. And then the awareness in there, it makes these adjustments within you that ultimately creates that field. You are be able to manage it this. And then as you're managing, your partner seeing that you're managing and they beginning to manage it. And then both of you managing and balancing this collective field between you and your partner within. And then this is turning like a this liquid kind of like a ball that goes from up to down, but it's a liquid ball. It's your it's your there's kind of like a bubble zone that it comes in, but now it's manageable. It's beautiful. It goes up, it goes down. It can make a different frequency. From the different frequency, it can go spinning around and so on and so on. But the process, the process is very beautiful because it shows up in this managing uh, this field, this collective field between you and your partner. And there it shows up the power of the love that comes in. So beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful. All right, so I'm giving you beautiful. So here, baby, it's so Mike
Yeah,
is yours.
we're wondering really what to talk about, and it seems to be working for us. Like we are constantly working on really managing this field, both collective field, but also our own individual fields, because it all starts with your own work, and then you're gonna be seeing how you're putting some part of it towards the connection, and then it's gonna be asking you to balance everything on your own part. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna be taking over this masculine or feminine perspective and you're gonna be having this specific role within the connection, because those kinds of things will be fluctuating as well. And I think that's something to remind for everyone, that don't strive to become this perfect divine feminine or perfect divine masculine. You have to balance them all out, because the connection will be asking you to get into these different roles depending on a situation. And that's exactly how it was happening for us too. It's, if you don't have some part developed, you feel like you don't have really this masculine traits, it doesn't mean that you're divine feminine. It means that you're lacking something and you have to balance it out first, because it's gonna be asked for you within the connection, because that's how it's gonna come into the balance. And I think that's, in terms of preparations for those connections, that's one of the things to remember, that you have to feel secure within your own feminine and masculine sides to be able to enter into the connection without this risk that you're gonna be a little bit lost in this old paradigm that, oh, I'm gonna be bringing only my feminine traits right now because I'm a woman. We're gonna create this beautiful flow between feminine and masculine. Yes, it's gonna work together, but you cannot lose or neglect one part of yourself, which is your like counterpart energy. So for me, that would be, for example, people would consider, oh, women are more divine feminines, and that those are the traits that they have to embrace. But if you will start neglecting your divine masculine energies, your material plane will start a little bit fall apart, and you will start losing yourself within the connection because you will start losing your independence. Or that's what it's necessary for this healthy interdependence within the connection. So that's my introduction. Hi, Karen and Lorna. Good to see you here. And I think we can mention also that Karen is one of the first people to actually visit our house in Spain. And we are very excited about that. And we are happy to share and hear her perspective on how does she feel about this space and how we can create it more for other people to come and find their safe space where they can either focus on their inner work or just simply enjoy the little vacation or just escape from this hustle. So maybe we'll have a chance to share more about that, but
Well, we'll
that's
talk about,
exciting.
we're going to be talking, I'll bring Karen alive later on and we'll see when. I will talk about, particularly about this, finding yourself, and there's going to be some more talk about it. But to go back into what Paulina was saying, guys, up here, hopefully you're really understanding this feminine, masculine prospects inside of you for first of all, within your own self, because the way you're going to be balancing the collective energies, it begins to balancing the collective energy about your feminine and masculine energies within yourself. So if you, as Paulina said, you don't understand something, great, you can learn it, you can figure things out for. This is what you have the feminine intuitions in there for it. Once you learn it, you're gonna know the why, you're gonna know the how, which is the masculine energies in there. But if you cannot be able to managing that part, you have inside of you what? The other side of the feminine, the masculine energies. Those are the toxic traits. You scream, you're angry, you agitate, you do this, and now you don't manage yourself, and that unmanagement of yourself within the energies brings that unmanagement towards the partner. Even if you don't say something to the partner, your energy does say a lot for. So you're gonna learning those processes of managing yourself. But if you look at it inside of you there is a collective energy of the feminine and the masculine within yourself, and now that energy brings into the collective between you and your partner. And when those energies begins to work on the same thing within the same frequency, within the same zone, within the same point of views of understanding and awareness and so on and so on, you're beginning to understand, oh, but that was union. Oh, but that was it, the right what they said about this union. But now I feel what the union is. I'm peaceful. I'm happy. I'm relaxed. I'm not stressed. I have balance within my own field. I bring that balance into our collective field, and then the balance goes into the partner, and the partner brings the balance in the collective field, and everything goes in there. Does everything's going to be perfect? No. You're going to be facing challenges. You're going to be facing imperfections, but with the awareness and the understanding, you're going to maintain the balance. And maintaining the balance builds the love. You want that love to be really showing up. You want that really love that you ask for the partner to be showing up within the 3D right there. You're going to have it when you do it first within you. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of things. You were
Mm.
talking. I have arrived here in Canada last night. yesterday afternoon, I'm sorry. But yeah, this is what it is. And then you're gonna be understanding why is this is the 3D management of that field. It's the last thing because you're learning the process and all the levels before you go into the 3D. And a 3D you're gonna practice. 3D is the practical exam of everything that you've been happened to you as the twin flame, everything that you been went through it, everything that you understood. But when that begins to happen, this magical love, this magical understanding, guys, here is your union that comes in and they start rising up. It's like, oh my God, this is even getting beautiful. We need to adjust this. You're gonna be like, I need to adjust this of myself. I need to adjust this for ourselves. But when you beginning to create these adjustments, you're adjusting the balance of worth it. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, it's okay. Technological challenges, but it is what it is. I don't know if you guys will missed it, but hopefully
No, I think it was still. Yeah, I wanted to talk about a little bit. It got me thinking whether this lack of balance, your internal balance, is not the cause of these initial unions to fall. Like it's people get connected through this old understanding of feminine and masculine, or they just operate from this space that they know most, that they are comfortable most. So if they just connect through this one part of their connect of themselves with another person, it cannot be stable enough. So the connection will naturally start to dissolve because is like there is not enough strength because they are not connected through their both feminine and masculine parts. It's just there will be this very big part that will be missing that both people didn't have properly developed in the first place. So the way I see it is that's with this initial ignition that we get, we are very often we have one of those parts abandoned or neglected. And it's only after separation you will see, oh, I think I have something to heal. I feel that previous one was very codependent. I think I was too much soft. I was too much in my feminine energy. I think I have to develop my masculine part to have the strength and my own power so I don't fall in these codependencies anymore. And then that's how you can start creating this more strong field between each other. And of course, it's gonna be challenges, but it's way more stable and you can help yourself to navigate better through those challenges because you will have more connections within each other. It's not gonna be just from this very weak, unstable one part of yourself because you forgot about another part. So at least that it's how it comes to me that we are getting the we are getting ignited, but we don't have a chance to build a proper connection because it's you don't fully know yourself. So it takes practice and it takes this preparation that you have this time to kind of rebuild both parts and enter the next connection or the same connection, but with this wholeness and understanding. Mm.
the internal wholeness in there, that practicing, okay, okay, you get ignited. You begin to asking questions. You begin to learn. Through the learning, I hope, because most of the people just learn, listen videos, and they don't do anything. Without applying knowledge, without applying, is basically nothing. You already, I don't have to go to this part at all. But when you're applying the knowledge that you have and they received in there through the twin flame, that is it brings um, this balance, your internal balance from within. And when you begin to apply the more of the knowledge in there, for it, Karen, yes, it's a great questions is in here. Some of the things they're gonna happen by default, they're gonna happen automatically. You don't even have to think about it because you already through the awareness and to the awakening from within your own self, in there, you got that and you're gonna see it's like you're gonna see this part of I got this or we got this. Okay. you're gonna feel these energies, but that energy is gonna come like, okay, I see a problem, I know what I need to work on it, I got this, let me work it out. And then when you figure it out, all of a sudden, as soon as you figure it out, let me tell you, to the combined, the collective energy field within the couple is changing. What the people were seeking it is that uh, beautiful, powerful energies out of love and a physical level, and so on and so on and so on. What are you going to find out? Is the ascension energies with you. And those ascension energies that are bringing actually the love to a whole new level of existence. Okay. So, Karen said, like, is it like an automatic balancing each other, like the natural state of being? Actually, we begin to feel this automatic balancing each other. It's very nice. It's working for. We're still working on some things. It's nothing. It's perfect balance. In there, there is no something that it's in perfect balance. Otherwise, the gravity won't operate properly. Okay. For the gravity to operate, properties require ellipse. Okay, which is not it's balancing, combalancing, attracting, and so on and so on with this. But as you, as a human being, you're learning this. And when you learned that participations in there, that greatness, if I tell you how many things you actually are going to have this peaceful power and so forth and so forth. I mean, there is no words. How can I explain it to something? You have to go through it. You have to feel in it. You have to experience it. Even if you're passing it here as the vibrations is in there. I mean, we've been passing a lot of the inner peace that is going on between us up here, two guys as vibrations. But that management right there, it's coming from you, the divine, yourself, and that collective within the connection is even gets better. It's even gets better. It shows you automatically what you need to work on you, but it's also that your partner right away knows what you need to work on you. It's the same why you know what the partner has to be begin there and to work on it. You don't tell like as Paulina said, you have to be divine feminine, you have to be divine masculine. Point of view in there, like for the physicality, is the way we're beginning to work up here. Yeah, if you all want to, have any kids and so on, yeah, there is a divine man, there is a masculine and feminine in there for. But when you talking about consciousness couple coming together, they have them both. They're not separating them both. They unify them both. And we told that before. You should not tell your partner you need to be more divine feminine, you should be more divine masculine. And the gravity field, it's going to be tell everything. This bubble zone is going to say everything in there. For so,
Yeah, this bubble zone is very sensitive. If there
oh,
is something you want to maybe not address and you want to wait it out because you think this issue doesn't have to be addressed, it was within few earlier connections and the issues still persist, it won't go away. And I think that's what I'm learning too. It's don't expect all the time to be at peace. It's something to strive for, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing something wrong because, as Dio said, you have to have this gravitational field created by something that is, it's kind of like constant pull and push, but at some point there will be end of this weird misunderstandings or lack of communications or maybe hiding some of the things because you will learn that if you try to hide anything, you'll be hurting first and foremost yourself because you're gonna be feeling like you're going against yourself. Because this moment that when you are becoming to this full balance without even looking into the counterpart, I mean, this is the moment that you're fully rebuilding yourself and you have this threshold so high, you won't be able to compromise those. And you will be thinking twice, even for the sake of connection. All you will be looking towards is just to build the same level of connection with someone, but without sacrificing yourself and without maybe neglecting yourself. So if anything, it comes your way that you are not comfortable enough, like it won't go away. Like you will have to find a reason and some a way to address it, because otherwise the connection will be having some tensions. And this is a really some kind of like a lesson of truthfulness to each other, because it's immediately like you are getting just so sensitive towards reality and authenticity that anything that it's hidden and authentic or neglected in a way, it's gonna be creating those tensions and those shakes in the connection, and this is not comfortable states to be. So naturally you're gonna be looking and working towards a resolution, but sometimes it will be requiring some courage from you to stand for yourself and not to be afraid of having those uncomfortable talks and conversations, and not to think about, oh, I just have to maintain the peace and connection. The peace is a result when you overcome those uncomfortable, like don't try to create a peace. The peace is like the outcome of the work that you're doing, because you chose yourself, you chose to stand within your own truth, and you are keeping your standards, and the rest of the connection, it's building just to rebalance itself. And of course, I'm talking those situations that we have a conscious partner and constant communication with someone, that it's really actually created some sort of a field between you, because it's you both decided to work on that and you maintain your own internal balance. Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Lorna, thank you. Thank you for Dio, thank you for your expertise and into advocating my strength to guide me my next steps. Yes, you're welcome. I'm actually happy that I did that for you in there for. And if you get in and you reached out to that pizza restaurant and now that the things are in motion, that's mean that the universe point out the directions in there. And I'm so happy for you in there. So having fun because I choose to see the lessons with joy and laughter. Things can't too serious
Mm.
sometimes. Yeah, a lot of the people getting too much serious on things for while the awareness in there with the awakening process when it comes in, you naturally, as Paulina said, you're beginning to learn what it's toxic to this beautiful environment of love and a connection that you have. But that is applied to you, but is applied to the partner. So basically, at all the time what it is basically going on. You understanding that. And then if something has to be really addressed, really go in there and being changed and adjust, so and so forth and so forth. Let me tell you something else. Some of the people about these portions of they go against themselves, and when they go against themselves just to have it the twin flame, they create the quotation mark, the sacrifice, just so they can be with the twin flame, just so they can see the twin flame, and so on. And they think this is an act of love. This is an act of desperation because you're going against yourself. Let me tell you what actually the sacrifice part of the divine point of view is. That is it when you choose to understand and stand next to the person when they're struggling. You make your personal sacrifice to be with them, to next to them, to support them, to win their battles in there. And you're going to figure it out that that sacrifice is what the divine is looking for. When your partner struggle, doesn't matter what, it could be an emotional, psychological, energetic, or some kind of like a codependency or something and is in there for it. But you see that your partner has put the time, effort, and energies to get this, to understand this for it. And when you are right there, as you do this sacrifice for it, uh, You basically choose to sacrifice yourself as accept that within them, and they're not going to work on the issue. Wow, the divine purpose of this is you to be next to the person while they're facing their own challenges. And guess what that happens? That turns to love. That turns to this beautiful love that the one person gives, and they choose to be next to you through your struggles, helping you out, researching with you, being right next to you. Okay. So later on, when you go in there, that management of the field actually is going to be increased in there. And by understanding that beautiful moment in there, you're understanding the purpose of sacrifice. It doesn't have to be like you accepting all the toxic behavior and all the toxic situations from your partner. Okay, but when your partner clears out his toxic stuff, his toxic situation, and so on, or patterns and so on, you're right next to it, and but you see it, and they see it, and this is why this management of this field is coming extremely helpful because the end result is the inner peace, and then you're happy. You live in it. You live in the dream. You want it to be a twin flame. You want it to be have this beauty. You want it to have this peace. You want it to be that. Here you are because of the amount of the work you did, and without all these improper situations, without all those improper thinking. If it's something it's even come out in the future, you too know how to deal with it. You're already understanding these beautiful beautification parts of proper management of a oneself, one holiness from within you, with the holiness within another. And then you begin to get it. You begin to open your eyes for what the union is for. So that's what
Mm.
this about it.
Yeah, I
Do you have
wanted
that
to
link to add something?
on an individual level, I think that's what we talk about. Like you have to just to make sure that you're acting from those both sides at the same time, and you're consciously choosing just to work out your parts. Don't expect your partner to be everything that you're missing out, but just rather just work together because there will be some battles on the way, always. Mm. But I wanted to briefly talk about this collective expression because I think many people will not be maybe having this big picture that in the end, when we are talking about balancing the collective field, that means that sometimes we are picking up some energetic expressions that not necessarily are connected to the specific person. It will be showing. For example, I'm talking in those situations when we are having some telepathic communications that something happens in our connection, but it's not really happening with the person. It still can give you an idea what happens in your collective field because we are working within the collective field. So if you're doing your work, you're becoming more and more aligned to whatever the collective is going through. And of course, we as a collective, we are also approaching this union and unified states. And there are already so many people who reached this unified state within the collective. So if you're getting those kinds of communications or messages regarding you coming into a union, um, just be mindful that it will be guiding you towards, yes, your union, your internal union that will be manifesting with another connection, or you will have a chance to manifest that with someone. But just try not to put faces on a specific person because we may just act from the space of our memories or our emotional attachments, while it can be that one person is totally stuck and they are very far from any collective experience of a twin flame and this picking up on energetic experience, and they just kind of fall off from the journey, but you're still going and you're still growing as a twin flame and are tapping into the collective twin flame energy. And then along the way, if you do the work and you're still interested in evolution, this is a natural process that you're gonna be attracting someone else that can help you get over this next phases, because it's, I think this is such a precious experience to have a conscious relationship with someone that the energies will be one, like will want to put you next to someone so you can finish this healing that you have to do, because not all of that can happen just individually. You need partner to do that. So that's something to keep in mind, that even if the connection is not going anywhere and you're still receiving something with regards to your twin flame journey and twin flame experience, um, instead of getting confused, just remind yourself that you're still picking up on the collective messages that are happening towards inner unions and also collective unions. So that's not to mess those kind of things. Like, be okay with being partially on your own within this journey, and look for the next phases as they're gonna be developed for you. Mm.
Key point, as Paulina was talking here, careful with the engagement within the, don't mix the collective energy between you and your twin flame divine partnership in there with actually what's going on within the collective. She gave you this perfectly example about you feel it, you or you got the message, you're gonna go through union. If you're not in a personal wholeness and of union of this maintaining this balance of the collective energies within your own self, within your divine feminine, divine masculine energies in there, so they can go ahead and purge out to the toxic masculine, toxic feminine part from you. For to it, uh, you will see it, but don't put it like a union. It is about me and my partner. It could happen. First of all, take a look at it as a union, as your own union, your own situations that it's there. Have you reached that holiness in there? And to give you guidelines up here in there with uh, whatever you should have, never look into your partner's issue. Look at your own issue. Look at it the way you're processing the informations. Always look first within. This is going to bring you to a whole new level of wholeness within yourself. Stop looking at in the external situations. Stop getting it in there. You look at it within yourself. You see what you need to adjust. You see the situations that you reach that balance, a feminine, masculine level of understandings within you. Then you decide what kind of approach of actions you're going to take. You're going to take portions of actions like a masculine, or you can be a vulnerable. You can explain. It's like, you know what, this is it. Or you can go with an approach of the feminine energies. You can go be a romantic. If you're masculine physically, you can go ahead and be soft. You can go ahead to give it a nice massage. Okay, it's that's kind of what are we talking about here? It's not about this typical mentality of you have to be feminine and masculine for. But your engagement with the collective energies of what you have with you in the union, with the collective, that you have to be also mindful about with this. Because the collective can comes in and they can interfere within the field of the connection in there. Because guess what? There could be some people that comes in and they're like, oh, well, you guys have these connections. I don't have it. What's going on? I cannot be in a union. Ask yourself what you're not be in a union. Instead of being having that energies about it, ask yourself. And this is a huge, huge key. Ask yourself first in there. And when you begin to look at it as a learner, say, thank you, learner, the inner union, that inner union is going to be giving you the next step, the next path, the next stairs, the next hump, the next mountain, the next planet, the next galaxy, the next universe. You think that you're just going to create little things up here and there. We have some long road. And that is a whole another ball game in there for it. But here is this to look, okay, because the management in there for it over the time, you don't overthink, you don't over stress, you don't over, and so on. So all of a sudden, the things begin as Karen said, there automatically begins to engage. And this is kind of like a you created already this fail-safe mechanism, but in a base of the spirituality of the awareness and awakeness in there. Psychology hasn't leveled to that, mastering this to this level yet. To have this fail-safe mechanism that they begin and they begin to work on it. And they're gonna come. They're gonna rise up. They're gonna create this beautiful society. I hope, because you're gonna go get some there. It's gonna work for it. But it's all tied up to this beautiful management up there. So, guys, if you have any questions, you can ask, or if you got any suggestions for topics,
Mm. That would be
so
great.
so far, that will be great. To it, and
No, but as you were saying, everything starts with learning about yourself and knowing what kind of tendencies you have. If you, especially knowing your weaknesses and knowing your weak spots, and then you try to improve, and then you will see how it really enhances the connection. And always as a reminder, it's never really neglect those third energies that are present, because it's like they get enhanced as well once you get more into balance, and they will be guiding you to do the proper actions and to withstand those difficulties, because in the end that it comes to us like very, very strongly that this is such a big test of faith, that it's gonna work out. It's gonna be There's gonna be help on the way, and you're gonna know the next steps and how to manage all of those things, even though they seem very rough sometimes. But I think this trust in the process is a big thing, that sometimes it's, if things are getting too difficult, you remember what put you in this situation in the first place, that is always orchestrated. And you start having this appreciation, and you're just having an interest to see, okay, what it really wanted to show me, where it wanted to take me. But as Lorna said, just trying to find some joy in there and laughter is also important, because it can get a little bit boring even sometimes, or too much dramatic, if you see that it's just not going anywhere, and all this is bad and difficult. It really helps to balance those things and just see a little bit of bigger picture, and see that all of those states are really temporary, and it can get you a little bit faster through those humps and just get to those next phases, right? Mm.
that expansion in there, guys. Okay, if you are kind of like going into this journey, it's like with you guys know what the horse blinders is for. They are putting it here with the hammock that it's putting into the horse, and they're blocking his vision so he can look at only straight. Okay, they're like a little square pieces, and they putting it right there and on both sides for it. Most of the people they have this and blinders within themselves. You need to understand some of those they're coming out of a fears. If you've been living on a fears and so on for a while, you're gonna understand. But as a Paulina said, it is a broaden up the visions, expand within, see the different possibilities. And when you expanding on that level with this different possibilities for the different possibilities are the informations and the paths that they're gonna comes in to upgrade your field, upgrade your understanding, your awareness in there, and that comes in with this beautifications of growth because you are expanded. That expansions for it, that creates this from this broader up your horizon. You widen it up in there. So for Lorna, faith in you, faith in them, and a faith in the divine. That is, you're gonna feel a lack of faith at some point. You're gonna lose the faith at some point. You're gonna have this, oh, I want to give up. And guess what? You can give up on everything, but the divine doesn't give up on you. And when the divine comes in and knocking your door, they're like, "Hey, Dio, hey, Paulino, knock, knock," and they're, "What's going on here?" Right? The divine knows how to do it. And you're gonna find out that the divine balance is there within in the connections is in there. It is incredibly beautiful, helpful to not only to in energy, it's understanding and so forth, so forth. You're beginning to practice the things and then the faith is coming back because the divine is faithful on you. They see in you, you're going through tough moments. They see in you your challenges. They see in you that you've got it, right? And at the moment of all this, the divine is looking at you is like, ah, you didn't act like before. You're acting like divine human being. Oh, okay. That's what the test was all about. I was just watching you to see how he's gonna do it, but I was next to you. And then you overcome another one, and then you overcome another one, and then it becomes that you and the divine are also in that field. Your partner in divine also in that field, and then the divine is part of the whole field that you're now. You are kind of like a divine union begins to feel really out the way it happens for it. That brings the peace. That brings the happiness. And you did a nice things for it.
Yeah, but as we were explaining too, and we've experienced, if you put the faith towards the connection, that's gonna be paid back to you because like it has to start with you. It's like don't expect that everything will start flowing right away. Like sometimes there will be moments that you really don't know where it's going, and there might be some connection that it's put in front of you, and you really don't know what it is, but something is telling you that those energies were involved in getting this person to you. And it may seem like it's going against all this twin flame paradigm. And it's more about just putting a faith that that's gonna be either blessing or a lesson, but you have to go in there because it's but this moment of faith, like that's your decision. Because you can choose to stay in the same space, to hang on to the same connection, whether it's working or not working, or you can choose to see what is in front of you and just put the faith in there and know that that's something that you need at the present moment. And it's a very beautiful feeling to see that, that was your test. That was a test to see, are you still dependent on a specific person or just on this human understanding of the journey? Or are you interested in learning about something that you cannot fully understand and you fully trust just the energies that you felt or kind of observe between you and another person? So that's, I don't know, that's precious to see that from this space. Mm.
Exactly. Karen, untangle yourself from the twin. Must be coming into union. Yep. You have to untangle that must be because if you're setting up requirements, must, it's a requirement. But instead of that, if you can tell yourself, I need to become the twin flame going into myself, for myself, I will
Mm.
see who my twin flame is, see how the things is going to be, because you're going to be able to discover yourself. But before you discover yourself, You need to discard what not yourself is. Our patterns, our paths, if you learn from others, you understand it like they were beaten up in your head from others. You know, you're like this, you're like this, you're like this, and you're thinking that you're like this. And guess what? You're not. Just told you that you are like this because they were like that. You're not like this. You're discovering your powers when you become as a twin flame. You're realizing things within everything from family connections, the family energies field to all these generationals and generations way back. Okay. Even to the beginning of the tribals in there. For you understand what kind of patterns there were. You're going down to the roots. But guess what? You're having a fun to discover yourself first, who you really are. Then, when you really, really understand who you are, then you begin to learn how to manage it. Then you understand you're ready for it. Okay? Because if you haven't found yourself, how would you find yourself with others? Again, the principle is you first.
Mm.
You first.
Yeah, but that's a good point what Karen said. This reminder that there is no such thing as a failure, because many people, I think, they think that when you when you go and into separation and you're being left out with your own journey, that means somehow you failed, and you will be kind of clinging to this idea that maybe it can work in the future. Maybe if I'm a little bit more patient and withdraw myself from this all the other experiences in life, I can wait it out and we will be coming into union, because that's what is promised to many people. Well, it will really keep you in one place for a very long time. And if anything, for everyone, just reminder that there is no such thing as a failure, because it's all the connections that are coming, they have a specific purpose, and it's only up to you to choose how long you want to cling on like a specific lesson, or you decide, okay, I've learned this lesson. Most importantly, I see this lesson is not really moving any further, and I'm open to learn more. Because with these kinds of understanding, you will stop seeing this any really connection that you have as a permanent or definite. You will see that, oh, probably there are some other opportunities that are prepared in this universe for me. I really feel this is too boring for me to sit and wait and be on the mercy of another person who is clearly not doing the work. So, with this kind of a shift of perspective and just being more gentle and knowing that there is no such thing as a success or failure within twin flame connection, it's just you can choose to be within this conscious collective field, or you will be coming out of it. And it's really, it's not, it doesn't matter whether or not you have counterpart on your side or not, because you can always continue journeying as a twin flame, but it comes more from the space of choosing to go on your own if that's required, at the same time entering any next connection that can help you to recreate this twin flame energy field. So this kind of this responsibility that we have to take, that it's those opportunities are open to you as long as you're open. Mm. And it's a lot of fun discovering yourself, that's for sure. That's a beautiful part of the journey.
Open your mind,
Mhm.
open your soul, open yourself to the spirit guidance, and go for it. See what you got. Okay? See what you got. See what you are made of. What are you ready to do? What are you ready to give up? What are you ready to create? What are you ready to go head out there and be an example of the people of the world? And then everything is going to begin to make much more sense of your experience of embodiment of your soul and the body here. There is so much beautifications in this. As the beauty from within turns to a beauty from without, right? Putting it in there. You're putting on the beauties in there, okay? And we all have a purpose, okay? We all have a purpose. Everything that happens there has a purpose. It is what it is. You can't change what it is. The question is, do you accept what it was, and how well are you really working on it is what it is to understand it's going to be what's going to be. But I gotta give 100% out of me. You see, that is gonna be. But this balance, guys, the key to this balance, which is we're talking about here, you to understand and balancing your feminine, masculine energies, your awareness in there, understanding what the toxic patterns they are, and they should not be. They should not be bypassed. They should not be, should not doing the sacrifices for it. No, you gotta talk them through. You have to resolve them. Because where there is a problem, there is a solution. And that's what they said. The bigger the problem, the bigger the miracle. You're going to be the miracle of understanding all this and be the part for the community. But if you're looking at, first of all, more about community, would you be the miracle first to your own self? You to become that miracle. Show him to that miracle. And when you become that miracle, now you can, now you do your mission. Now you do your things. So this was just kind of like what we wanted to share with you guys for. My personal suggestion is following your soul. That's the best thing you to do. Following in there. If you're beginning to see some visions and so on, see where do they come from? Desires, collective, or actually your personal journey within you that's calling for it. Stop for a second and really seeking it. Because if it not come from your own desires and there, that is mean that you're still codependent. That is still waiting on the receiving.
No, but it's like learning to read between the lines.
Yes.
Not
Wow, that's
don't
reading
take
between the
everything
lines.
so
Yes.
so exact because yes, in one possibility it is that that's gonna manifest, but there is thousand different possibilities that it's just some kind of a message that it's regarding your own development and it's just you put specific face on this message. So because it's that's gonna help you a lot big times once you start taking this very metaphorically and just treat it as a story that is showing you what is happening in your own field and with your own journey. And I just wanted to quickly address those comments that we had from Lorna and Karen. That's what I meant to don't block new connections because I know especially in the community people have different opinions about it and it all depends what are you choosing. Are you choosing to stick to the connection and you have twin flame connection experience that it's limited to the one specific that you labeled as a twin flame experience and a definite the one, or are you open to explore and see what is really the journey about, what is really being revealed once you put off any of those expectations? Because everyone here, I believe, they have different, mm, how do I say, like expressions of this journey. So never compare your journey to anyone else. Don't compare the number of connections they had. Some people have one, some people will have dozen. But it's really just see it from your own perspective and go towards this direction that it's actually working and being open up instead of going somewhere that's kind of dissolving and it's just you clinging to it to just to make it work.
Cling to it
So,
and limiting
mm,
yourself,
yeah.
especially if you're limiting your mind within you, within your limiting believing within yourselves. You see, when you said only, you're shrinking. how would you want to expand and how you want to evolve within a certain things, guys, if you put only
Oh, it
it's
doesn't even, it's not even regarding this only one twin flame paradigm. I think
yeah,
it's at any point of the journey. It's like
yes,
really stay humble because you never really know for sure.
yep,
You will know for sure based on the results that you both had because at some point there will be no question. But
yes,
until it happens, it's just really, if you're not sure or 3D reality is not showing you that it's something is really being created here on Earth, you really have to be a little bit patient and just observe what is coming to you because you may still have a little bit of illusions there. Because as also as Karen said, there is always someone to work with you. But it's just once you adapt this mindset that it's not always, oh, it's failed, it's failed, it's failed. It's just, okay, that means that something else is happening. And once you start having this kinds of mindset, it's like kind of you release this energy of clinging and the scarcity and just, oh my goodness, now I'm being left out or nothing is working for me. Because I think the change of perspective, this is this key of unlocking those next experiences because they will be able to start manifesting until you reach this point that you're ready and you feel like you deserve to have something more after the separation, all this sadness and all of that. Once you start believing that can be some next chapter, no matter which connection, which direction it's gonna go, that's when you show to yourself that you're ready because you're done with this old way of thinking, those limits. Mm. Yeah. So I think
jumping.
that's what we had for today.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for listening. If you have any suggestions, as always, put in the comments or here in the chat. And see you again next week. Oh,
My son Anders and his love you, Rena.
regards to Andrew.
All right, regards to Andrew, we're going to be reading and helping him, and our love is with him too. Actually, yeah, we want to do something about it.
Mhm.
For it, um, and so forth. But I want to say thank you guys for watching, supporting us in there, and we're looking for more things to come towards you from us for. And hopefully, you guys are applying it. Okay, hopefully, hopefully you because we walk through this road, we're sharing this road with you, and we know by you applying it where it's gonna get you. And,
Mm. Yeah, but it's nice to see that people
yep,
are really changing this those beliefs and people are getting tired of this old way of thinking that is not going anywhere. Every I think this is in our nature to break against the limits and you say something that's no, you cannot do it or you will be forever this way. You'll be start to question like why really like why it cannot be different. Maybe there's some limits in there because someone said something that I don't fully agree. And that's this beginning of crumbling these old belief systems that are not serving because you're learning to think for yourself and you will the same time you will realize how your belief systems will be shaping your twin flame experience. So mm,
exactly. And you need to understand that everything you see there for there is some things you can, and that there is a things you cannot change. There is a universal law that you cannot break it in, and you're trying to break them in. Wish you good luck, but doesn't happen. What's happening is the universe is going to be helping you to create a very beautiful flows of energy for
mm.
you with the partner, with the divine for you. So that's all from us, guys. Thank you for watching and see you next time.
Mm. See you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
Mm.